course it's not charging. Why am I charging? Hello, beautiful souls. So weird. I had everything set up and then every time. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful souls. Yeah, stop. This thing needs to stop messing with me. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How is everybody doing this morning? Drop a hey, how you doing? Happy Mercury retrograde. Happy Friday. If you aren't aware of what Mercury retrograde is, stick around because it's not just a lot of hubbub that the astrology world came up with. It's actually something that, if you listen and pay attention to what I'm about to share with you, I'm giving out a free little mini class on what Mercury retrograde is, because we all hear about it and we hear about it so much, and now it's become a social thing that everybody's like, oh yeah, I know about Mercury retrograde. And then you get the insensitive ones that are like, oh, I have no problem being Mercury retrograde because I'm perfect. Well, if you're like me, I'm not perfect. I am so far away from being perfect, like I'm going to have a few lifetimes before I get to being perfect. So I would like to share with you, Jessie, the Pisces, the Angel Intuitives version of Mercury retrograde. And I'd also like to share with you guys a little reading that I'm going to do that's, I don't know about these eyebrows. It keeps making me makes me look like I'm winking at you guys. I can't do it. Hold on. I was going to try to do it, but like it keeps like making it look like I'm winking at you guys, and it throws me off when I'm doing this, guys. So hold on. But anyways, I'm gonna give you guys a Mercury retrograde reading during this live, and I'm going to show you what your theme's going to be. This is a collective message, obviously. If you would like your own retrograde reading personal, I'm doing them for only, what can I do them for? We'll do them for 1414 because that is a fun number. And I'll do a Mercury retrograde reading for you, and the official thing will be out later. But if you would like one, message me either during or after this live, and it'll be, we can either get on video together or I can send it by email, your choice, and it'll give you a theme and the things that you need to watch out for. So I can't do this. Okay. I just couldn't do it kept winking at you and stuff. So how's everybody doing this morning? Thank you so much for the likes and the shares. And this is going to be on my YouTube channel, Jess Intuitive Angel Vibes. My link is in the bio. Please like and subscribe if you would like to get new angel readings. It'll notify you. And this is going to be up on there. So if you want to come back and reference the retrograde reading, you sure can on my Jess Intuitive Angel Vibes channel. So, all right, guys, I'm just waiting for a couple people to get in here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start off and people will come. And like I said, I'm going to give you guys a brief little history. I'm not an astrologer. Astrology is like my third, fourth thing that I've picked up. I know astrology, but I know enough for me. Probably will never be like the professional astrology, because like that's a whole mindset. And to y'all who can do total just, readings with astrology, kudos to you, because my brain can't wrap around some of it, but it's getting better. Like, cause that's just something I've been learning. But when I learned about Mercury retrograde, it really helped me because, for one, I'm a survivor of trauma and I have PTSD, CPTSD, depression, anxiety, stuff like that from all the fun events that have made me feel unsafe in my life. So ultimately, when I hit retrograde, it would be a mess every time. And people never gave me this information that I'm not a mess. It's nothing wrong with me. Maybe I am a mess, but I can be fixed. Nobody gave me those tools. And that's why I'm very, if you guys notice, I'm very big on sharing information. I'm very big on teaching you guys the tools, because I'm always going to go with teach a man to fish. If you teach him how to fish, he'll never go hungry. If I do it for you, I'll be doing it for you for the rest of my life, or somebody will be doing it for you for the rest of your life. So when I hit Mercury retrograde, what is Mercury retrograde? Well, Mercury is the planet of, Mercury rules the planet of communication. So planet Mercury rules communication, travel, and technology. And all of these are often disrupted during Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde happens about 3 or 4 times each year for a period of about 3 to 4 weeks at a time. And Mercury slows down to the point that it appears to be moving backwards. And but it's really an optical and illusion. The communication planet does still have forward momentum. It just isn't moving at its usually speedy pace. So again, Mercury is the god of communications, planet of communication, and when it goes into retrograde, it appears to be spinning backwards. So what ends up happening is all this stuff from the past starts, like, the energy is where it makes you. It's like when you shake up a bottle, all the stuff from the bottom starts surfacing. Good morning, Young Dragon. I'm a Virgo, so it really affects me. Yes, and it's going to really affect you too, because it's starting, Mercury is starting out in Libra, right? It's 3 weeks, but it starts out in Libra and then it ends in Virgo. So this is, you might want to stick around for this reading. Good morning. Life is what you do, Amor. Because this will really help you, because I always say, I would rather be aware and plan for something versus being blindsided. So you can't run away from your karmic lessons. You can't run away from retrograde. Do you really want to sit there and feel crazy for 3 weeks? And it's almost 4, because you have that period after retrograde. So these tools really help me, because I am aware to make an over effort to not react. I respond, and I'm I've been told this week, especially my angels keep telling me, respond. So I don't know what situation's going to come up, but I have been told I better not react. If I react, I'm not going to come out the winner. And, I decided, you know what, that's a good thing that I'm going to go ahead and heed that warning. And so I'm making an extra big effort not to do that and to pay attention. And so when you shake up a bottle, you got all the stuff from the bottom. That's what retrograde. Ultimately, it brings all the stuff from the past that you no longer serves you any good, and you need to release it. So that's why you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're watching TV, minding your own business, and all of a sudden you start crying and you feel like, man, why do I feel so emotional? And why am I thinking of my 5th grade teacher and that time that I was embarrassed in front of the class? That's what retrograde kind of things does. And it also does things like make you crazy in your mind, and your ex, they love to text during this time. They love to reach out, and your mind loves to play tricks on you and tell yourself, yeah, you need that ex. Bring it on back in the toxicity. And it's not a good thing, because when you bring in the old know that retrograde is about closing chapters, not opening new ones. There are no new beginnings during retrograde. This is about reflecting. It's the 4 R's. Rest, relax, released, and refocused. There's a lot of other ones, but those are the main ones that I focus on during this time. Don't start anything new. The reason why you don't start new stuff is simply because the astral energy here, the environment is not, it's not going to work. So what happens ultimately when retrograde is over, all the stuff that you started new is going to undo, and you're going to have to redo it again. So say you got a job during retrograde. So if you don't have a job now, like if that's something you're tying up, that's okay. But when you go to like, I'm going to quit my job and get a new job, this is not the time to do that. This is not the time to buy a house, make a big, huge purchase, because basically it's that communication thing. You're going to overlook something during retrograde. You're not going to be able to see something. And ultimately, it's not going to come out the desired. So I personally just make it a habit during these 3 times. I work on, it's kind of like the universe's way of making us work on our stuff and stop, like the universe is like, you've got enough tabs open. Can you shut some of them before you proceed? So that's kind of what retrograde does. It helps us to release this. And the more grounded and that you work on being grounded and grounding, and, just trying to be peaceful. And also there's a lot of conflicts during this time too, because communication, right, doesn't go right. So it comes in good in here, it comes out here, and you're going to, it's going to not come out right. And especially there's a lot of conflicts with like your partners, your loved ones, because a lot of times we're clearing up. If you're in a toxic relationship, good time to release that toxic relationship, because it's going to be a bumpy ride during the toxic relationship during retrograde. A lot of people end up arguing to the point that almost breaking up. So that's why I'm telling you guys this, because you got to be very mindful of your actions and your words, and know that it's not just you saying stuff. It truly manifest things, especially during retrograde. Self-reflection time, absolutely. And sacred 999, I love that, because 9 is the number of endings, right? And when you see 999, means that a big change is coming, and an ending is happening, and a new beginning is starting. I love it. Sagittarius are going to be hit hard, right? I do believe so, because, here's the thing. So almost every retrograde period will begin in an air sign and move to an earth sign. Aquarius moving into Capricorn, Gemini into Taurus, Libra into Virgo, and finally beginning in Capricorn. Air signs are intellectual, while earth signs are more rooted in reality, because Mercury retrograde is a time of reflection. This shift from theoretical air into productive earth means we could come out of the retrograde period with more solid plans than we originally entered it. So I'm not sure if Sagittarius would be that, because that's a fire sign. I feel like Libra, which is an air sign, is really going to get hit, and so is earth sign. So that's Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. I gotta remember this stuff. So definitely, so if you are an air sign, definitely know, because it's kind of a weird retrograde, because we're starting off in one sign and we're ending in another one, and it's not even the same element. So we're starting off in air and we're ending in earth. So how are you doing today? I'm doing awesome today, April. So basically, it starts September 9th, which is today, and charismatic Libra will continue backpedaling into Virgo on September 23rd before turning direct on October 2nd. Mercury rules Virgo and is strong in this sign, it's possible that the usual Mercury retrograde mishaps might become more of a nuisance. In particular, if you have anything going on that involves writing, speaking, teaching, learning, this might be a time when you'd be wise to review and double check your sources. There's a lot of show up to, this is not the time to be last minute, because communications, flights, delays, technical difficulties. I tried to do a podcast during a retrograde, and woo, that was a fun time. Good times. So when Mercury is retrograde in Libra, it might feel like your love life has gone a little haywire, as the planet that rules communication, perception, and thought retrogrades through relationship-oriented Libra. Expressing yourself clearly and understanding the person on the other side of the conversation can be more complicated than usual. So Mercury retrograde in this sign can feel a bit like a not so welcome blast from the past, because this energy likes to stir up drama, causing old relationship issues to reappear. And if we've had any resentments in the love department, this is the time when they will come spilling out. So it's really important right now. I always tell people to do a releasement ceremony. And that is where, because, we always want closure, right? We want closure. If we go talk to this person and have that one more talk, we'll have closure. I got jokes today because I did that, right? And I've always, I'm just going to have that one more talk. No. It never made it work. It never made it better. Never got in there, because if they're a narcissist, especially, they're not listening to you. They don't care. They're waiting for you to stop talking because they really don't care. And I learned this. So I've learned, and I tell my clients this too, if you want to heal that old relationship, stop trying to go reach out to your ex and put up this big dinner and put this whole thing together. It ain't gonna work, okay? It ain't gonna get you any kind of better explanation, because sometimes there's not an explanation, or sometimes they're a liar and they're never gonna tell you the real thing, because I even saw this thing last night. It said a truly evil person will manipulate you and will do things and have no empathy. Okay, and then that just tells me, so why am I wasting all this time? And I've poured my heart out to so many people to try to fix something, to try to make it right. And I found in the end, I poured my heart out. I made the Olympic effort to to do better, and they didn't. So what I do is I do a releasement ceremony. This is where you write all your thoughts of that you have on your mind about this person, this situation that you need closure to, and just write all your thoughts on this letter, and then you meditate on the letter. And then after you're done, it can be pages. It doesn't matter, because once you're done with this, after you meditate on how you feel, after you wrote everything, then you're going to put it in this bucket. Make sure it's a fireproof bucket, and you're going to light it on fire in there, and outside, obviously fire safety, and you're going to close your eyes and meditate on that feeling of releasing all that into the universe. Because believe it or not, it does work, because we don't choose people, we choose energy. And so when you release that energy, you release those bonds, because the people come into your life as a karmic lesson. And we mistake a karmic lesson for the love of our life, for Romeo and Juliet. And it really ends up being toxic love. And we're not understanding our karmic lesson is to fight against that primal desire. Are you going to be in your purpose and do what you're supposed to do here? Are you going to just walk around and feed your animalistic desires? Because at some point in love and being with someone goes past that passion and desire and the lust and the fireworks and all that fun stuff. I mean, it's there even when you truly love someone and you've been there with someone for a while, but it's not the number one thing that makes up whole relationship. I'm just saying. So tonight is a perfect time with it being the full moon, and it really helps. Yeah. I was going to mention that too. We have a full moon coming, and full moon is about releasing. Also, new moon is about manifesting new intentions. So like I said, no new stuff right now. We're releasing and reflecting on the old. Hold on. And I'm already got stuff messing with me over here. You know, I already started my retrograde this morning. I just put my retrograde TikTok video with the do's and don'ts and all that stuff. And I was about to go press post, and my phone died. I was like, seriously, we all know when your phone dies, and thank you, Barb, for the rose. I appreciate it. When it goes dead and you're posting it and you didn't quite finish it, we all know that you're gonna have to redo that. And I was like, this is a great way to start off my retrograde early in the morning. I love it. So, generally speaking, we might feel like we even, and this is on tarot.com if you guys want to look this up. It's, and it's about the planet Mercury retrograde. So, because I don't know all the exact words with comes to astrology, so I'm gonna be smart and have my notes. So once Mercury, let's see, we can feel like we aren't even speaking the same language as the people we normally sync with. Miscommunication happens easily and our patience wears thin. It's best to take a deep breath and decipher what others are trying to say. So it's like the Tower of Babel sometimes during retrograde, and it's really important to not react, but to respond and take that 5 extra seconds before you blow it all out of proportion, because there's going to be that's the best tip I can give you to survive retrograde. But once Mercury retrograde moves into Virgo, things can ratchet up a notch. Mercury rules Virgo, so a retrograde through this sign can feel especially disruptive. So my Virgos out there, I do readings. I'm about to do a retrograde reading here as well, Sacred. So yes, you can totally, my link's in the bio, and I do personal readings for $44 an hour, or I do intuitive coaching. And there's various prices, but you can go check them out. And they're virtual. So, what does it say? Virgo governs everything having to do with your day-to-day life, including your work, health, and routine. You could experience delays and miss deadlines on the job or struggle with your communication with professional partners. Health issues may also pop up during this retrograde. Pay special attention to issues you've had in the past that you thought you've healed. So some things during this retrograde, you got to put your ego. This is like put your ego on a vacation. You can't ever get rid of your ego, but you can silence it a little bit and slow it down, because it's like when you're doing coaching and you're like trying to teach someone that and they're like, I know how to do that. And you're like, I understand you know what self-love is, and I understand you know how to do it, but are you applying it? Because if you were applying it, you wouldn't be in this situation you're in trying to go for Tony two-timer over there who doesn't care about you. Because if you're very strong in your self-love, if you got your boundaries strong, if you're firm in your boundaries and you don't gotta people please, Peachka, I love her. That song's playing in my head. I stand firm in my boundaries. I ain't gotta people please. Yeah, I love Peachka. She's a tarot reader too on here. And if you can do that, you're not, like attracts like, you're not going to have that toxic person with you. But if you've got a lot of toxicness and you just can't understand why you keep attracting all this shallow, you really need to take a moment and put your ego out of this conversation and say, what am I overlooking in myself, and what can't I face that makes me so sad that I am not getting people that reflect my worth? And I am so guilty of this, and I literally just learned it probably this year. truly how to stand in my firm in my boundaries and love myself and not people please and not do stuff out of because they need me to, because somebody's always going to need you to do something for them. I promise you, somebody's always going to need to do something. So it's about, can you do it? And if you're just doing stuff out of to do it, you're ultimately not giving your best and your best energy there. So why even do something if you're not going to do it the best you can possibly do it? Good morning, Lioness. My phone might be off after the 26th until the 4th. So Mercury retrograde, it says into something, you can turn this into positives. It's a great time when it's in Virgo to revisit projects that you left behind, getting back into an exercise routine, reviving an old idea at work. Those are good things to do. And but retrograde is ultimately, it gets you clarity. So it's just like I always say, the truth will set you free. It hurts, but it's like a Band-Aid. If you rip it off, if you just come out with it, it'll be over and you'll be free. Because have you ever held on to a secret so long? Like, people are like, I'm going to hold on to the secret till I die. And then they're basically decaying their whole life holding on to the secret. I know, because I'm that person. I've held on to a lot of secrets in my life because, I don't know, I'm like the secret keeper. I'm like the gatekeeper of secrets. People share their secrets with me, and that's why I'm very big on HIPAA and stuff like that. I'm very big on confidentiality because so many people, I don't ask for people's information. They give it to me, but you know what? I've also learned, instead of being like, why are you saying this to me? I've never done that. I've always sat down and said, really, tell me more. And I've had the coolest conversations with complete strangers sitting on a bus bench because they felt that angelic energy from me and they just needed someone to chat with. And hey, I ain't knocking. If you ever see me out in public, come up and chat with me. I have no problem. It's not anything weird for me. So when Mercury is in retrograde, I'm going to give you points to focus on, and then we're going to get into this reading, okay, guys? So focus on this. Use your intuition rather than your logic. Look at problems or issues from a new perspective and with a new understanding. Be flexible, especially when traveling. Traveling is such a big, give yourself time. Do not do last minute travel. You will get yourself in a pickle. It will not be fun. Flights, don't be like Home Alone trying to show up there right before the plane takes off, because you're not going to get on that plane. You need to give yourself at least an hour ahead of doing things during this time. I promise you. You'll give yourself a pat on the back. That's part of self-care too, is giving yourself enough time for things and not over extending yourself. So ensure your hard drive is backed up. It's very big to back up your files. I'm going to emphasize this. I, smarty pants over here, erased and somehow lost all of my documents, my years of documents. I retrieved half of them back. Don't know how. I can't even tell you what happened in that moment. The gremlins got in my computer and I erased years of documents. And then when I got half of it back, half of the other came back, and now you can't even read it because it corrupted half of my files. So, speaking from someone who did, and now I have a hard drive, a flash drive. And if you can't keep up with flash drives, do yourself a favor. If you have important documents, put it on your Gmail and send it to yourself. That's the coolest tip I can tell you, because one, you can access Gmail anytime, and especially if you have a job interview and you need to get this stuff, boom, saved myself so many times doing that. But definitely back up your stuff. I'm not even playing because I cried. I'm proud I snapped it out of it that day, but because I was pretty wrecked when I lost all my files. I was very wrecked. So your smartphone, tablet, etc., all have backups. Be creative, paint, draw, dance, read, write, and make music. Reorganize, review, and reflect. Slow down, meditate, and keep a journal. Okay, keep a journal of your thoughts because you can go back in a year. Instead of beating yourself up for not how far you haven't come, right? Keep your thoughts in a journal and go back and see how far you have come. Okay. We don't understand our progress that we've made. We always are beating ourselves up like we're not good enough. We're not far enough. Well, I'm a lot farther than I was last year. So I'm going to give myself credit for that. Slow down and meditate and keep a journal. Going outside, being in nature, get some plants for your house. Get grounded, do some earthing. That's where you dig a hole and put your feet and like bury it like the sand. And that will actually help you return all that negative energy to, good morning, Shell. It'll help you return all that negative energy to Mother Earth or to your plants. Okay, but our bodies are not meant to be little stores of negative energy. So whoever told you to stop crying and push all that down, they were big fat liars and they weren't taught right. Okay, because we're not supposed to push all this down. That's why it's a natural reaction. That's why sometimes we just cry and we can't even, because it's a body's natural reaction. Okay, and the more you push it down, the more the insides get ugly. And then the outside eventually gets ugly, okay? It's not always about the beauty on the outside. It's beauty on the inside too. So accept that there may be frustrations, redos, delays, miscommunications, and most of all, meltdowns. If you're having a meltdown, I'm telling you, awareness is the key to stopping a bad habit. I am the queen of meltdowns because people triggered me and I didn't understand what was going on. So it was actually, I was having a mental health issue while these narcissists were over there telling me I'm a crazy person. No, man, like what normal person gets up and starts poking at somebody's trauma at like 6 a.m. in the morning? That's not normal. I am going to accept that that's not normal. And you're a very odd human being that the first thing you want to do is start a fight with me, because when I wake up, I'm not, it took me years to become a morning person, but I've never been awful to someone. Like I might have been like, please don't talk to me. You know, I'm good. Or, you know, just kind of, and maybe people, you know, like, oh, maybe we'll leave her alone. But if you talk to me and you really need something, I'm not going to be rude and just snarl at you. Maybe I did that when I was a teenager. Okay, we all did. We all yelled at our parents and they left the light on and we're like, I'm not getting up. And they're like, yes, you are. And yeah, it's a whole battle. But, you know, I'm an adult now. And if you have a partner who is doing these twisted things, stop saying that they love you and they're just having a bad day, because 20 years of a bad day is BS. I'm just saying, somebody needs to hear that out there. You can't be in a bad day every day and if you are, then you need to go take yourself out to the country or go live out in a cabin alone and stop projecting all that, all your stuff onto other people, because we don't deserve it. So that is awful. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning. So yeah, check your Google Drive talking about Mercury in retrograde. Yes. We definitely are. I've forgotten most of the secrets. You'll remember them, Barb. All right, my friend, I don't think you're crazy. I think we are normal. And I don't use the word crazy because, first of all, that's a trigger word for many of us because we've had so many narcissists sit there and reiterate that to us so much that we started believing it. And that's the one thing of healing that was part of my healing, is to stop using that word against myself, because so many people like to use that. And I'm like, I'm not crazy though, because here's the thing. If you're truly crazy, You don't know you're crazy. Think about that one. Truly crazy people don't know they're crazy. There's no locked in, tied on. There's no empathy. Jason, as we're coming up on Halloween. Jason, okay, if you've ever seen all the Halloween movies, what happened? He goes to the mental institution and he gets out, and then he takes out his stepdad. And do you see that kid cry? Do you see Jason cry tears of, oh, I'm sorry I did that? That is a truly crazy person, because now they are not attached to reality at all. They are truly checked out, and you've just got a demon running around that meat suit. That is a truly crazy person. So I take offense, and I'm like, maybe you need to go find the real definition of that. Maybe you're just crazy and you're just trying to project that into my reality, and I don't accept that into my reality. And you can say this when people start saying stuff to you. Why don't you not accept that and say, I do not accept this into my reality, period. I don't accept it. Don't accept it. So here's some things to avoid. So when I worked in outpatient mental health, I got a lot of theories validated. Yes, I worked in a mental health facility for kids. And the oldest kid, after 18, obviously, they went to adults. The youngest kid was like 4, I think. It was heartbreaking because I understand they have health issues, but I think at that age, I really feel like, what are your parents doing to you to make you have schizophrenia, bipolar, manic disorder? I'm just saying, like, kids aren't born like that. They don't, it's their environment. You obviously suffered some trauma very, very early as a baby. If you're 4 years old and you're already talking about trying to burn the house down, like, kids don't come out that way. It's a taught thing. And that was the most enlightening experience in my life. And when I would get off at third shift in the morning, because I would work double shifts there, and I'd get off at 7 in the morning and I would drive home. And I remember I ran into this guy, and he had his daughter there, and you could clearly tell he was a drinker, because it's like 8, 7 in the morning, and he's over here getting some pints. And he's like, and I saw this little girl with him, his daughter, and she's probably like 6 or 7. It made me sad because I kind of saw all those sad, kids out there that it's not their fault. And he's getting her a candy bar to sweeten her up, but I'm looking, and he's the dad, and he's got his drunk buddy with him, and it's 7 in the morning, guys, at getting her a candy bar, and I just wanted to cry and punch him in the face and cry and take her and give her a big hug, because I was like, man, this is also in the place in Missouri where I was working, so I was like, oh my God, how long is it going to be before I see your little self coming and getting checked into where I work at? It was very heartbreaking. And it made me love my child more and understand that if we want to change the world, we need to start investing in our kids. And we need to start helping our kids, and maybe helping with parenting with people, because nobody tells you when you have a child with mental disorders or autism or stuff like that, or it just has emotional behavior disorders. Nobody tells you how to deal with this as a parent, okay? And as a mom, nobody told me how to deal with a baby that had colic for 6 months. 6 months, guys. I looked in the parenting manual, like, how long does this last for? They're like, it could last up to a year. I about thought, yeah, because my baby did not stop crying. For 6 months. The only time she stopped crying is when she was eating, or I was holding her, or she was sleeping. So I literally had to go buy one of those backpack things that you put your baby right here. And I got to stay home during her being a baby, thank goodness, because that's how I dealt with it. And that's the only the way she would stop. Because my daughter really needed to she just needed I don't know. She already had a. She already what is that called? Um, where you drop them off and yeah. She already had abandonment already feeling, and yeah, it was crazy. I thought you were gonna put your baby on all the movies. You put your baby in the crib, and so cute, and the mom's eating, beautiful food, and it's great. Mm-mm. Yeah, and then my ex was like telling me he had, he has 5 kids, so including this one, so he was giving me all these parenting tips, but it was more like I'm the expert here, you know nothing, and I didn't have any like women around me to come and help. And it's a big thing. Not all of us have a grandma that's going to come and come take care of the baby and let you sleep. Okay, I was literally living off of 1 hour of sleep. My daughter was waking up every hour on the hour. Yeah, I was, and that really, after that whole experience, because I breastfed for the first year, though, I didn't want any more kids after her. I was good. That's probably why I only have one child, because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through that baby phase again, because that was rough. And yeah, that was a good time. So yeah, that's makes me, I love children, but I love my child. And I give to you who have more than one child, because I just am not built for more than one child. I know. All right. So separation anxiety. Yes, that's what my daughter already had. And she didn't sleep in her crib. That was just a fixture. I got one of those little things that you put next to your bed and it rocks. And it's like a cradle. And it works perfect. When they're a baby, I don't know why you need a big old crib, because no baby in the history of babies ever sleeps in their crib. It usually just gets put up there and they don't sleep in it until like they're a toddler, and then they can just jump out. So my daughter had colic a lot. My poor Gabe. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's rough, huh, Barb? My poor Gabe was that way. I used to wear him all the time. Yeah. Wearing them's fun though. Daycare. Yeah, daycare was rough. And you paid $300 a week for a baby. That's why I stayed home with my daughter, by the way. And I guess I got that luxury because my narcissist ex decided he would let me, stay home with her. Because I was breastfeeding, it was mostly because she wouldn't take a bottle. And it didn't matter if I had my milk in it or not. She would not take it. So I stayed home with her. And also the fact that he didn't want to pay $368 a week. So I stayed with her till she was 9 months old. And then when I actually found reasonable daycare, home daycare, I had to pay for that because that was the only cheapest one, because I didn't qualify for any kind of help. Then I got to go back to work and to school and stuff. But yeah, it was an interesting time. So Brenda joined. Well, Luis asked me to be his girlfriend. We're not doing those readings right now, but check back later. Gabe did that too. I spent nights in rocking chair with her laying on stomach. Emma was different. I had to go check her. She would sleep 6 hours at a time. Had one too there to look nice. It's fun. Yes, I don't know what the whole crib thing, like, why are we buying this big old crib thing, like $500 crib, and it becomes you start hanging clothes on it. That's about all you do. So what are we avoiding during retrograde? Making major purchases. No making major purchases during retrograde. Again, something will go wrong. You trust me on this. You can wait a whole month. Unless it's already something in the works and you're finishing it. It's about not going out today and finding a house and saying, ooh, I'm going to buy that house, or ooh, I'm going to go buy that Ferrari. Don't make just, if it's something that is initiated new, don't make a new purchase, because like I said, you're going to have to redo it, and it's not going to come out the way you want it. So making life-changing decisions. This is about reflecting. This is about responding, not reacting. So you need to reflect on what are the things that are coming up on retrograde that are making you feel crazy. Those are the things that you need to reflect on, but you don't need to go making a bunch of different big changes, okay? Because first of all, if you make a bunch of changes at one time, now you don't know what it was that originally was affecting you, because now you've made too many changes and now it's like a guessing game. So start with one thing, do it for about a week. That doesn't work, go on to the next thing, but don't make big life changes right now. No behaving recklessly. If you want to behave recklessly, cool, but the universe has hands. Retrograde has hands. Retrograde will show you these hands. Do not act recklessly unless you really want to suffer some consequences. I mean, obviously that's a good rule, but especially during this time, it's going to be more. Do you have a store you like for crystals? It depends. There's a lot of I get them off of Amazon, but Etsy. I like going on Etsy because everybody on there, it's handmade stuff. It's not commercialized. And also, if you can go on here, Lucent Crystal is one of my friends, and she sells crystals on here. So I actually, if you go on my post, I put the crystals specifically for Mercury retrograde, to help you out through this time too. So also avoid purchasing electronic equipment, especially avoid purchasing electronic equipment, especially computers, arguing or fighting. It's a cause of the mutual misunderstanding. No starting new jobs. Avoid signing new leases or buying new houses. Avoid assuming and any understanding on another's part during this time. No assuming. We already know what assume means, but no more assuming, because I'm telling you, it heightens here. So launching a new business or putting a big event, hiding under a rock. No hiding under a rock during this time either. And it's really important to reflect and slow down and finish all the abandoned project, all the things that you started. This is the time to finish those up. This is not time to go put new stuff on your plate. You need to finish up the old stuff. And trust me, you guys have enough stuff that is halfway done that you can't tell me you don't have anything. I don't have anything that I'm halfway done with. If you don't, I am so proud of you, and drop that in the comment. I want to meet some people that are like, I got my stuff done. I'm getting it done. I'm not halfway doing it and then forgetting about it. So I appreciate you, and I am working on my procrastination. I'm just, it'll all come together. So write reminders, back up your files, and purchase travel insurance. Very important for travel insurance, because you will have issues with travel. Make sure you check your tires. Make sure you check your oil. Okay, driving is travel. You need to check your car today. Go out there, make sure stuff's good to go, because you'll thank yourself later. And reevaluate what isn't serving you. That's the biggest thing. Reevaluate. Let go of stuff that is not serving you during this time. So thank you guys for being here. Oh my gosh, I have a huge list. So good morning, Jackie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Rowena. Hello, Nina. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for the likes. And we're going to go ahead and get into this retrograde reading. And like I said, this will be up on my YouTube channel. So if you guys aren't able to watch all of it here, or you come into the middle of it, know that you can go check it out. And I also have some other angel readings. I've decided that's where I'm going to start putting my energy in, because I kind of had this I started off on Facebook and Instagram, and they're just not my cup of tea no more. Instagram's okay, but I like it here and I like my YouTube, so I'm really going to put my energy into putting content on both of these. So definitely start checking out my YouTube and subscribe to it. Hit the bell reminder, and that'll pop up my new videos, and you guys won't want to miss my new readings. I have a new angel reading. If you that Archangel Michael put, and I really think you guys will enjoy it. I'm going to start doing more personalized readings so you guys can know that I am an intuitive reader. I just don't advertise on this app because this app is a different weird platform, and I don't fall in the category with everybody who got an oracle deck and just decided, hey, I'm going to be a reader. No, I actually truly am a reader. I've been doing this now about 5 years, and I'm here for you guys. I do this because I don't want anybody to ever feel the way that I felt in life. And I felt pretty down and lonely and alone in my life before. And if I could make one person not ever have to feel that way, I've done my job. And I've always said that as long as I can help one person, but I want to help on the masses. I want people to know who I am simply because I know that I can help people. And I know people don't have to be a victim of their trauma no more, period. And that is a real thing. So I'm grateful for you, Michelle. Oh, thank you. Yeah, if you can help people get over to my YouTube, the link's in my bio, and really trying to build that up because it's got a lot of content. I just wasn't trying to build it up. So therefore, all this great content and all my podcasts are just chilling there and waiting to be discovered. But that's why I did it. It's kind of like housing my stuff. So awesome. You are in for a treat, Rowena, your first time viewer. I'm about to do a Mercury retrograde spread. Light and love to you, Barb. And ultimately, this is going to tell you the message, the theme of Mercury retrograde. This is a collective, so it's for everybody in here right now. And it's going to give you some information with it. And then if you want your own Mercury retrograde reading, I'm doing them for 1414. Just send me a message after this live's done, and I will help you out with that. And send me your email, and we'll do a virtual hop on a Zoom call real quick. So all right, my friends, let's go ahead and thank you, angels, for blessing this reading. Thank you for making sure it's specific in the light and full blessings for everyone involved. Angels, if you can please help me with the collective here, and we're going to go ahead and do this Mercury retrograde spread. Let the collective know what is the Mercury retrograde theme. There's 2 of them. The lessons they need to know, the subconscious blocks, what has been released, and what are mental blocks. Okay. And I'm going to add this beautiful deck with it. So let's see the theme, lessons, subconscious blocks, what has been released, and mental blocks. All right, my friends, I'm going to go ahead and show you these. And you can take notes, screenshots, whatever you want. I'm going to hold them up. But this is definitely, whoever's in here right now, this reading is for you, my friends. And this, I love these cards because they have affirmations with them. Aw, her Zoom is awesome. She's coaching me and I learned so much already. Thank you. You guys are my hype team over here. She has so much knowledge. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Good morning, Sandra. So, all right, we're going to get into this reading. So, what is your Mercury retrograde theme? You have a few here, and these two are reversed. And this one, liberation, is a message. And these two are reversed because you already have blocks in these. So you really need to pay attention to this during the next 3 weeks. One is about visualization. Okay. If you can believe it, if you can see it in here, you can achieve it out here, right? You got to visualize it to bring it into your reality. Okay, so when you have those thoughts and things repetitively going on in your mind, that's your angels, that's your spirit team trying to help you get the lawnmower started. You know, it kind of puts a little bit and then yeah. That's what I'm hearing, like a motor starting. So it's about visualizing. What do you want? And somebody's a mermaid here, and I know Michelle is. I'm a mermaid. But you can definitely see the mermaid here. She's visualizing, and it's about going with the flow. If you see that flow right there, letting it flow, visualize what you want, and, follow the streams is definitely one of the things that I'm hearing. And definitely connect with your magic, because that's her mermaid tail right there. You can see her sitting there with her mermaid tail. Get your motor running, head out on the highway. Yeah. I love you guys. This is fun. Oh, you're a woman of my heart, Michelle. LOL, Barb. So yeah, visualize. What do you want for your future? And it's also about taking a break. Okay, vacation. Visualizing yourself, giving yourself permission to take a vacation is crazy. This is a repetitive message too. If you want that vacation, if you want time off, know that you don't have to spend $1 million to go on a vacation. You can have a daycation, you can have a staycation, you can go get a picnic basket and go out to the mountains, go out to the wilderness, go out to wherever. You can go and get some paintbrushes and paint and go out to the park and paint stuff. There's so many things you can do, and most of us live in a place where there's so much to do and we've never visited it because we didn't have enough time. So you definitely, angels are showing a message of the dragonfly too. It says, the doubts and fears still come up. You don't believe them anymore that they're you. It's time to liberate your soul. It's a very big transformation, and it's about releasing the need to work so much and visualizing what you truly want for your future. And if it's time to take a break, start visualizing what you truly need, not what everybody tells you need. And it's funny, VV, visualization vacation. That's crazy because they both come up in the book together. Visualization vacation. Somebody really needs to hear that. Maybe you're trying to plan for a vacation. Maybe you keep telling yourself, I'll never get to go do that. Well, stop. You're taking the magic out of your manifestation. If you say, I can't, I won't, it won't happen, because now you're telling the universe and it's not going to bring it to you because you said you don't want it. So the vacation is, you need a break from routine and stressful situations. This card urges you to take time for yourself so that you can rest and renew. Think of a vacation as an investment in yourself and future. All living things need rest in order to operate at maximum efficiency. And after you come out of your vacation, you're going to feel fresh, renewed, and you're going to have a different viewpoint. So during this Mercury retrograde, it's really important to practice the 4 R's: rest, relax, release, refocus. Here's an affirmation I want you to repeat. I give myself permission to regularly rest and relax, knowing that being revitalized, I am happier and more productive. And so it is. So definitely work on your root chakra during this retrograde. This is going to be the theme. You're going to notice. It's going to be a test of, are you going to hurry, scurry, and just try to fit everything in, or are you going to take time for yourself during this retrograde and work on your back end of stuff, the chapters you need to close? Visualization. Your clairvoyance, your dreams, and the pictures in your mind's eye are becoming more clear and powerful. This card asks you to trust and develop your visual skills and to use them in conscious manifestation. The affirmation is, it is safe for me to see. I am a very visual person. So your clairvoyancy is starting to kick in. You need to know which clairs are your most, are your highest functioning ones. And you don't have to be, everyone's got the gift of psychic. Everyone's got the gift of the third eye, but it depends if you use it, because most of us shut it down with fear, point blank. So I'm definitely seeing this Mercury retrograde. The theme, again, is all about liberating your soul and giving yourself time and visualizing what you truly want in your life. Not, kind of doing a little bit of a 180 from what you're currently doing. You need to slow down. You need to know you're going through a rebirth, and that the angels will always support if you need enough time, and they'll help you get more time. They'll literally change the time continuum and bend it for you to get you more time. So you need to start visualizing what it is that you can do to start taking that time and vacation for yourself. So it's really about self-care, this Mercury retrograde. So your lessons during this retrograde, there's two of them. One is happily ever after, and it's reversed and right now. Okay. And I'm having a feeling that somebody is like, it's reversed because they're not seeing the big picture. They're just seeing the right here and now, and they're seeing the chaos. Okay. But if you look here, you can see the fairies, and this is a unicorn right here. Unicorn is a spirit animal about being magical, and where you put your focus is what you're going to manifest. So energy goes where focus flows, or energy flows where focus goes. So the angels and the fairies want to know that you can have your happily ever after. Okay, but you've got to imagine, you got to know that you deserve your happily ever after. And also not to force things. Don't go against the flow. Stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled at each moment. So maybe right now during this retrograde, you're going through some lessons. You have a lot of stuff you got to clear up from the past. It's important to be assertive. And what can you mentally handle right now? You don't have to fix all your lessons during a Mercury retrograde. You need to be aware of it, because the energy is going to make these lessons come into fruition, because now's the time. If you learn this lesson during right now, you're going to energetically be able to release this karmic lesson that you've been holding on to, or this pattern. But you have to be in the present moment right now and connect with spirit, okay? Because we're not meant to know everything, and we don't always, our destiny's being built with our thoughts right now. So if you want your happily ever after, you can definitely do that if you stay in the present moment and listen to your angels and get your guidance and stop trying to validate it with everyone else. It's your guidance. You know you got that message. It doesn't matter if everyone else understands it. It matters what you understand. It matters if you want your happily ever after. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is very important, because anxiety comes from being too far in the future. Depression comes from being too far in the past. You got to stay balanced by being in the present moment, because ultimately neither one of those time realities exist. Think about that one. We think about the past so much, and that is over. You can never restart the past. You can never go and change it, because if you change it, it's like the butterfly effect. It just keeps screwing up the future and giving it a different alternate ending that's even worse than the first alternate ending, if you've ever seen the movie Butterfly Effect. So know that if you made a lot of mistakes in your life, or you feel you did, because nobody really has ever made that many mistakes, they're called lessons that we're learning. So if you chuck it up to, these are some lessons that I got out of the way, then you're gonna be able to release those and actually make room for your new future, because your new future, that success you want, doesn't have room to house the old stuff. So you're going to have to make a choice. Do I want my new life, my new start, my new chapter, or do I want to stay in this present moment with or stay in this past and attached to all this past stuff that no matter amount of wishful thinking or anything will ever bring it back, because I simply was going through it to learn these lessons, not to stay attached to it, because some things in our life were meant as a lesson. But it's really hard if you're not balanced, because your ego won't see it as a lesson. It sees it as it sees it as it's an enemy, and it's coming and it's attacking. So sorry, my nose is running. So that was a movie that really makes you think. I deserve my happily ever after. Yes, you do, Barb. Be in the present, working on it. So repeat, I deserve my happily ever after. I am so happy. I'm already working on site, and it is helping. Awesome. Yes, affirmations are beautiful. So the ones that I'm reading to you guys, write them down, or go back and replay this, because affirmations, okay, nature abhors a vacuum. That's by Aristotle. That's a quote. Basically what that means is that everything in nature has to have something filling it. It can't have spaces. So when you take out a negative, you got to replace it with either another negative, or you got to replace it with a positive. But you can't have it just empty. So that's where the affirmations come in, because if you're taking out a negative thought pattern, you got to replace it with a positive thought pattern. Hopefully that's what you're doing. It's counter-reactive if you do it the other way. So what are subconscious blocks? Okay, one is divine flow. This is about flow, guys, right here. Body movement and flow. Guess what? This is reversed because you're not getting up. You're letting the depression take over. You're letting the negative Nellies get in your head. You're letting that energy, the gargoyles, the hyenas, you're letting them get to you. Drop them, get up. Don't let that depression make you sit on and reminisce and ruminate over things that you can't recreate. Get up and start moving. Dancing is really good if you're feeling that, because we store all of our trauma in our hips. And our sacral is our seat of our emotions. So our repressed emotions go down into our sacral, which is where you have, women have all of our women parts, like our ovaries and all that. So if you're having really bad times of the month or infertility issues, start doing some sacral chakra work. That's what's going to help you release that, to help you have fertility, okay? Because you've got to release those negative emotions. Basically, think about all these negative thoughts that you've ever pushed down. Think of them in a jar. Think of that as your sacral. At some point, the jar is going to get full, but here we are just stuffing it in more. Now it's overflowing everywhere. That's where infertility issues come in. I know, because I have infertility issues. And I have a miracle baby that the week that I was supposed to go and get in vitro, I called him up and said, I don't know how many people tell you this, but I'm pregnant. I don't even know how it happened. I was supposed to come in this week, and I guess I don't need to do that no more. craziest thing after like 6 years of losing my first one. Craziest thing. So miracles do happen, okay? But you gotta leave the miracles to the miracle maker. We're not the miracle makers. The creator is. So that's where you gotta put faith in the universe. So get up and get out, and these are your subconscious blocks. This depression, this little voice in your head is the reason why you're not getting up and moving forward. Also, the divine flow. Eventually, one sublime desire takes precedence over all others to follow the Tao, the divine flow at all cost. So this is about, and there's a blue butterfly too. It's about being in your joy. It's about getting up and start, just get up and show up. I'm hearing show up. You need to show up. And stop trying to take everything on at one time. It's about getting up and doing one thing at a time. So if you're in a depression-caused grief right now, what can you do? Can you get up and take a shower? Can you get up and take a walk? Can you get up and read a book? What little small action can you do to start combating it is what you need to do. So getting in the divine flow, listening to binaural beats, different megahertz, MHz, those sound has different vibrations. So the megahertz are at different frequencies. So ultimately, if you're having sacral issues, chakra issues, you can work with sound therapy and help release all that negative stuff. Because the more you release, that's when you stop having all those diseases. It's pretty neat. I love you and going on an adventure to Wally World. So awesome. You can come check out the rest of this, but you already have one. Michelle already got her retrograde reading, and you can get yours too for 1414. Send me a message. I'm about to put it up on my thing. I just wanted to get on here this morning and give you guys your message before I get into all my stuff I do. So that shows you. Just heard Hips Don't Lie song. Yes. Yeah, you need to be shaking it like Shakira if you have a lot of trauma stored, because that I think it's the parasympathetic nerve is what it activates. So just moving your hips in a circle like this, like you can lay on your belly and just go in a circle like that while you're laying on your belly. And you're welcome, Rowena. That'll definitely help you to release that, and you'll stop having fibroids and all this. What's the one that starts with an E? That you I can't even think right now. It's the number one fertility killer. It starts with an E, and a lot of women have it out there. So definitely that is part endometriosis. Thank you. Yeah, my brain's not working this morning when it comes to certain things. So, all right. We'll go back to the blocks first, and then we're going to go to what has been released. So mental blocks, your true offering. If you've been seeing a lot of crows lately, know that that's a shapeshifter. Crows are connected to the underworld, okay, the afterlife. And they are really connected. So if you have like a crow staring at you, they could be staring at you. And the reason why your loved ones, because they can see spirits, okay? So pay attention when you hear crows, because there's so many different things. If you hear I was hearing a whole bunch of them outside. Just going crazy. And I was like, when that happens, it's because a group of people are chatting, gossiping. And I wasn't even making this up. It was true. And then I started seeing hawks. So, but definitely if you start seeing crows, know that this is a big sign that you're about to go through a spiritual awakening and all that stuff that you've been pushing down. And it's crazy. Look at those colors. They're orange. Okay, we were just talking about the sacral and releasing those repressed emotions, because true offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. So I feel like the angels are that's what the crow comes to help you release the past and have a spiritual awakening and stop lying to yourself, because awakening your true self. You're about to go back, if you're not already on a spiritual awakening, you're about to be, and you're about to go through a really big transformation, especially if crows are lining up in your yard. Everyone I've ever seen have a gaggle of crows around them. They're about to get a truth bomb so big dropped on them because they refuse to believe the truth. So ultimately, the truth bomb gets dropped on you. So that's a definite mental block. And here is an affirmation for that. And your fairies also want you to know you're beginning to recover your natural identity, including your old sense of humor, interest, passions, and desires. Trust that any confusion or changes that you're currently experiencing are part of your healthful evolution. And know that now that your old self is emerging, that you're back and your authentic self is coming back, and your life and your personality is going through big changes. So you may start liking stuff or things that you used to like, you no longer like anymore. So be gentle with yourself and allow yourself to give permission. If you no longer like something no longer resonates with you, stop trying to make yourself like it. It's okay if you don't like it. Move on to something new. That's the variety is the spice of life. Affirmation. I now give myself permission to be my true self. And so it is. So definitely know that this Mercury retrograde, your mental blocks are going to start coming out, and you're going to start awakening to your true self. So it's about being gentle. And if something says, hey, I no longer want to be a part, this is no longer you. This was a trained thing that you were taught. Let it go, because now that's why you feel funky. That's why you feel stuck, because you want to, for example, if you're older here, when you were going through your 20s and you hit your 30s, that's such an awkward stage because you're not quite feel like an adult yet. You still feel young, but you're clearly not 20. And then you hit your 40s and you're like, oh, yeah, I wish I was in my 30s again, because at least that was like a fun middle. You know, now I'm starting to feel older, and you kind of go through these things. So just know that you don't know how you're going to be at this stage in your life, because I'm only 41 years old. I've never been 42 years old. I don't know how 42 is going to feel. So if you're 20, you don't know how 30 is going to feel. But don't worry about getting, and that's one thing, be in this present moment, because we want to be old for so long. And I was that person. Everybody always said something about my age. So I constantly kept waiting and saying, I can't wait till I'm this age. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And you know what? Now I'm like, I wish I would have just enjoyed more of those moments. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of my moments, but some moments kind of wish I could take back my 30s and not be married and continue what I was doing. But you can't do that. See, you can't go back and change stuff. So you got to start accepting it. And, you know, I've accepted it. But it would be fun to go back sometimes, you know, and have a little, that energy. I think my energy was more there when I was younger. I understand officially when 70, 80-year-old people are like, I'm tired. I feel you. All right, we're going to thank you so much for being here. I'm going to wrap this Mercury retrograde spread here. This is the last message of what has been released. Okay. So, and if you'd like your own personal retrograde reading, you can get it with me for $14.14. I'm going to have a link in my bio, or you can just send me a message with your email, and we'll get in contact. So, all right, Mercury retrograde, what has been released? You being limitless. So doors are starting to open. See yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone. And this is all going around your family harmony. Maybe you guys have toxic parenting relationships. I feel like that is going to be some things you're going to be reviewing, is those toxic relationships. And if you have a toxic parent, you can still love your toxic parent, but there's nothing that says you have to have them in your life, your daily life every day, participating if they're going to keep making you feel bad. That's about boundaries. If they can't respect your boundaries, and if you're not 5 years old anymore and they're still telling you what to do, they're going to have to release that, or you're going to have to release of what you're going to tolerate with your family harmony. Okay, but I feel like a good people are going to start coming together. So you're going to have to give faith and release that how it's been. Because the angels are going to start intervening if you've asked them to, and they're going to help you give the strength to finally close up this chapter. So if you're like in the middle of, I need to close this chapter of either talk to them or don't talk to them, that's where this family harmony and healing is going to come in. But the angels ask you to think of 5, if there's people that come across your mind in your family that you don't particularly care for, they want you to write down 3 reasons why you like this person. Find at least 3 good things about this person. And if that's particularly hard, then find 5 reasons why that person deserves love even more. So it's about looking over the ego here and looking at it with the eyes of love. And don't let if you have that naysayer and they're clearly a narcissist, don't let them affect you. Have patience, because you're beginning to, a great healing is starting to occur. And healing occurs when you become aware of something, because the universe is going to help you. The more awareness you put into it, and the more a decision of, how am I going to handle this? What am I going to do? What can I control about this? Because I can't control my narcissist mother, and I can't control the fact that she thinks she knows it all. And I've tried to speak to her, and it wouldn't, nothing ever comes about. So I'm going to protect my energy at all costs. And I'm going to tell you I love you, and I release you. And I haven't talked to my mom in 2 years, because I have tried family harmony. I've tried to overlook, release, heal. And at some point, I'm not going to keep, if I'm aware that you're doing this to me and I keep coming back for more, now that's my karma to keep dealing with. Because just because you have title of a mom, parent, that does not give anyone an excuse to be toxic or abusive. Okay? You don't get a pass with me. You don't. If one person seems to particularly frustrate you, think of 5 reasons why that person is worthy of love, and send blessings and prayers to that person, and your relationship will show immediate signs of improvement. So it really is true. Love your enemies. And I keep my enemies closer because I'm paying attention. And I am going to send you love and light, because obviously you need a hug. If you're over here causing catastrophes in my life, obviously you don't feel enough self-love and you need a hug. Or you need to give yourself a hug, or maybe your mom needs to give you a hug. But either way, I'm going to protect my energy by not tolerating you to come in and ruin my energy because you're having a bad day. And like I said at the beginning of this, there's no such thing as 20 years of a bad day. You're simply just, if you're being mean to people for that long, you simply don't care. Okay, because we all have bad days. We take it out on people. But literally, I don't care if you're my spouse. Is it fair for me to take my bad attitude and outlook on life? If I can't be grateful for you as my person, as my partner, to at least look at that and get a smile on my face and say we're going to make it in life, then I need to reevaluate why you're in my life, because now I don't even like you. And now I don't like my life. Now I need to be alone and figure this stuff out. Telling you, I'm not the one. I'd get on the list. So definitely know family harmony is coming. So ultimately, if you just stepped in, this is your theme for retrograde. It's about visualizing vacation and limitless liberation. This is about allowing yourself to do things like have self-care days, have a vacation, have a staycation. Start visualizing what you truly want for the future and release. Do the 4 R's and you will thank yourself so much, and come back and tell me how your retrograde's doing. Or if it becomes too much, come and get a retrograde reading from me. I would love to help you on this, because it's I always say you can't put a price on happiness or peace. And a lot of times, if I have peace of mind, for example, delivering something to somebody, I don't have to make that person get up and go get the pizza that I'm sending to them, I'll pay that extra money just for peace of mind. So it's about liberating your mind and knowing, what are you willing to pay? What are you willing to have? What are you willing to do for it? Because it's not always about money, paper, energy. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel. Please go support me if you totally can. And I'm trying to get over 100 subscribers on there. I'm at like 70, 69. I just need like 40 some more and I'm there. So, but I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday, and you guys come check out the Mercury retrograde on my page. I have the do's and don'ts, and if you need a personal intuitive session, like I said, you can check out the link in my bio or down below this video. Hope you have a wonderful retrograde. Definitely do those releasement ceremonies. Go out to nature. This is the perfect time to do and release it out in nature. Transmutes it. Epsom salt baths are really good to take, but take self-care, release, refocus, revisit, but don't make new decisions. This is about closing old chapters, because after this, and the full moon, I believe, is tomorrow. So full moon is also about releasing. That's the theme right now: releasing, renewing, refocusing, and do the R's. And ultimately, when we're out of this October, I believe it's 2nd, you're going to come out having a new perspective and with less baggage, if you can focus on even just releasing one thing, one old toxic pattern that you no longer want to carry around. You're so welcome, Rowena. I'm so glad you were here. And Texas boy mom, if you would like a reading, I can definitely come check this out on my YouTube. But you guys have a wonderful day. Don't react to people. Make sure you're responding. Make sure you're not letting anybody get your ego to respond, because it's not worth it. You let karma handle it, because whatever you give comes back tenfold, so good or bad. So I want good to come back to me tenfold. So I'm going to put good out there. So love and light, beautiful souls. Have a wonderful day, and pay it forward. Be kind to someone. Kindness is free. Love and light.